Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring something really interesting. Um,
Okay.
Building a fan base, even before your book comes out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, a lot of times we think about all the
Mhm.
marketing and promotion that happens after a book is launched, but this is about laying the groundwork early on.
Yeah.
And our source material for this deep dive is this awesome guide from Malala Media Publications. They lay out all these actionable strategies, and we're going to break them down.
I love that. It's like flipping the script, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of scrambling for attention after the launch, you're like strategically building this foundation from the get-go.
Yeah, and it's really about those early connections. They can make such a difference.
For sure. The guide actually uses this great analogy of planting seeds for a flourishing garden. I love that.
That's perfect.
Yeah. But, let's get into the why.
Mhm.
Why is building this early fan base so important? We always hear about word-of-mouth marketing,
Mhm.
but is it really that powerful?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. A dedicated fan base, those are your biggest champions. They're the ones who genuinely love your work and will naturally tell everyone they know.
Right.
It's authentic, it's credible, it's way more effective than like any paid ad you could put out there. And that early buzz, it can be a game changer, especially if you're trying to get a traditional publishing deal.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because those pre-orders, they're like a huge signal to publishers, right? It shows them there's demand.
Absolutely.
And it can influence things like how many copies bookstores will order and
Yeah.
even placement, right?
Exactly. And plus, those early fans, they're usually the first ones to leave reviews, provide feedback.
Oh, yeah, gold.
Pure gold.
Especially for, a new author.
Especially for a debut author, yeah.
So it's like you're establishing that credibility right from the start.
It's about that social proof.
Social proof, yeah.
And here's the thing, it's not just about, launching one book. It's about building a community. They're with you for the long haul. They support all your future books, your creative journey. They become a part of it.
I love that. It's like you're building a lasting relationship, not just, a one-time transaction.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious, have you ever, pre-ordered a book purely based on online buzz? Or maybe discovered a new author through a friend's recommendation?
Oh, yeah.
What's your perspective on this?
Mhm.
Share your experiences down in the comments. I know I've definitely been swayed by, a really passionate online community before.
Oh, yeah.
Think of this one author I follow who is phenomenal at this. They do, live Q&A sessions, behind-the-scenes peeks into their writing process, even virtual write-ins with their fans.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's a fantastic example of building that loyal fan base. It really shows how important knowing your audience is. And that's actually the next big point in this guide. It talks about creating an ideal reader profile.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And this isn't just for authors. It's for anyone who wants to connect with their target audience.
It's like building a persona.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
you figuring out their age, where they hang out online,
Yeah.
what problems your book solves for them, what kind of content they like. But, how deep do we go with this?
Well, it's about going beyond just, basic demographics. It's
Right.
about understanding what they value, what motivates them, what their goals are.
Okay, so, their psychographics.
Exactly. You want to know their pain points, their interests, what kind of books they're already reading.
Gotcha. So it's like getting into their heads, understanding what makes them tick, why they connect with certain stories or authors.
Exactly.
Now, this makes sense for, genre fiction, but what about nonfiction? How do we figure out the ideal reader when it's more about information or expertise?
That's a great question. Even within nonfiction, there are different niches and interests, right? So think about it this way. Someone who reads personal finance books is probably different from someone who loves history books.
Totally.
Understanding those differences is key to tailoring your message and reaching the right people.
Right, because you wouldn't market a young adult fantasy novel the same way you'd market a nonfiction book about investing.
Exactly. Different approaches, different tones, different everything.
Completely different. But what about other authors in the same genre? I'd imagine looking at their audience could be super helpful.
Oh, absolutely. Studying the competition is like marketing 101.
Right.
You can learn so much from what they're doing well and, maybe what they're not doing so well.
Yeah.
Check out their social media, their website, how they engage with their readers.
Great insights.
Yeah, it's like market research, but for your book and your future fans.
This is giving me so many ideas already.
Yeah.
It's clear that knowing your audience is essential.
Yeah.
But then the guide throws in this curveball. We can't wait until the book is finished to start building this community.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start early.
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
Well, think of it this way. The early bird gets the worm, or in this case, the fan. Especially in today's world, you want to start building those relationships while you're still writing.
While the excitement's built?
Yeah, when you have time to nurture those connections organically, and the guide actually gives some really practical tips for getting started.
Okay, like what?
Well, first and foremost, social media.
Right.
It's such a powerful tool. It connects you with like-minded people, and it's free.
Yeah. But it can also be super noisy and competitive. How do we cut through the clutter and get people to actually notice us?
You have to create engaging content.
Okay.
Go beyond just promoting the book.
So give them something valuable.
Exactly. Give them a reason to follow you, something that goes beyond the book itself.
Like what kind of stuff are we talking about?
Share your writing process. Give them behind-the-scenes glimpses. Start conversations about things that relate to your book.
It's like a dialogue, not just you shouting about your books.
Exactly.
So it's about showing your personality, what you're passionate about, your unique perspective.
Right.
You're letting those potential readers see who you are as an author, as a person. Now, have you seen any examples of this that really resonated with you? Like, what kind of engaging content really stands out?
Personally, I love when authors share little bits about their research,
Oh, yeah.
especially if it's quirky historical facts or funny anecdotes or even things like polls or those Ask Me Anything sessions where readers can give feedback, help choose cover designs, even influence character names.
Oh, that's awesome. It makes them feel like they're a part of the process.
Exactly.
What about you? What kind of online content makes you want to support an author? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, let us know.
Now, besides social media, the guide also talks about creating a website or blog. I can see why that would be important.
Oh, for sure. It's your home base online.
Right.
You can share longer form content, build an email list, offer free downloads. It becomes like a destination for your fans.
It makes sense. But what about those of us who aren't super tech savvy? Building a website can feel pretty daunting.
Oh, I totally get it. But honestly, there are so many easy-to-use platforms out there now. You don't need to be a coding genius.
Oh, good.
And the benefits, they're huge. You control the narrative, you showcase your work exactly how you want to, and you build a direct connection with your audience.
So it's like you're not at the mercy of social media algorithms, which can be so unpredictable.
Exactly.
And speaking of algorithms, the guide also emphasizes building an email list. Why is email still so important? It seems like everyone's all about instant messaging and social media these days.
Email is still one of the best ways to connect with your most loyal fans.
Okay.
It gives you a direct line to them. You can share updates, exclusive content, special offers, all without fighting algorithms or getting lost in a sea of notifications.
It's like a VIP club for your superfans.
Exactly.
But how do you get people to actually sign up for your email list? I mean, everyone's inbox is already overflowing.
You have to offer them something really valuable. Think about what your ideal reader would love. Maybe it's a free chapter, a downloadable resource that connects with your book's theme, or even a sneak peek behind the scenes of your writing process.
Right, so it's about that exchange of value.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got social media, a website or blog, an email list, all great tools for connecting with potential readers. But what about taking it a step further and making those early supporters feel extra special, like they're part of an exclusive club?
That's where it gets really interesting. The guide talks about the power of exclusivity.
Ooh, I like that.
You're giving those early supporters something they can't get anywhere else, making them feel like they're in the know.
It's like a sneak peek behind the curtain. People love that.
For sure.
What kind of strategies are we talking about here?
Think pre-order bonuses, signed copies, limited edition swag, maybe a bonus chapter, even personalized thank you notes in the book. Anything that makes those early supporters feel appreciated.
Oh, I've totally pre-ordered a book just to get a limited edition bookmark before. It's the little things sometimes.
Exactly.
But, how much should we actually give away? Is there a risk of giving away too much and devaluing the book itself?
Yeah, it's a balancing act. You want to offer enough to make it enticing without overshadowing the final product.
Right.
Think about offering bonus content that enhances the reading experience, not replaces it.
Like Deleted scenes, alternate endings, or maybe even a short story set in the same world as the book.
Exactly.
I'd feel like such a VIP with those perks.
Right. The guide also mentions giving early access to content.
Oh, interesting. What does that look like?
It could be sharing early drafts with beta readers,
Oh,
or maybe creating a private online group where those early supporters can chat, give feedback, ask questions,
I'm cool.
get sneak peeks. It really builds that sense of community and makes them feel involved.
It's like having a fan club before the book even launches.
Exactly. And this actually ties into the next point in the guide, which is all about storytelling and branding.
Okay,
It emphasizes creating a consistent narrative about you and your work.
gotcha. So it's not just promoting a book, it's about defining who you are as an author,
Right.
what you stand for, what makes your voice unique.
It's about being authentic, relatable, letting your personality shine through.
Right, because when you think about authors who are super successful on social media, it often feels like they're inviting you into their lives, their
Exactly.
creative process, their struggles, their successes.
And that authenticity builds trust and connection.
For sure. But it's also about being strategic with your brand, right? How do you want readers to see you? What kind of image do you want to project?
Exactly.
It's about consistency,
Yes.
making sure your online presence, your website, your social media, all of it reflects that same brand identity. I'm thinking of this one author, their brand is just so strong. It's not just about their books. It's their humor, their wit, their passion for social justice. Everything they do, online and offline, reflects those values.
That's a great example. A strong brand makes you stand out. It attracts readers who connect with your values. And here's another key point from the guide. Don't just rely on written content. Use multimedia.
Oh yeah, like podcasts, videos, visual stuff. It gives your audience more ways to engage with your work.
Exactly. And it makes sense because people consume content in so many different formats nowadays.
A visually stunning Instagram feed can be just as captivating as a well-written blog post.
Absolutely. It's about meeting your audience where they are and engaging with them in ways that resonate.
Okay, so we've talked about social media, websites, exclusivity, storytelling, branding, all super valuable for building that fan base before launch.
Yeah.
What else does this guide have for us?
Well, this is the fun part. The guide suggests using giveaways and contests to generate buzz and reach more people.
I mean, who doesn't love free stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's a win-win. Readers get a chance to win something cool, and you get more exposure and engagement.
Exactly.
But with so many giveaways happening online, how do we make ours stand out? How do we make sure we're reaching the right people?
Be strategic and get creative. Think beyond just giving away a copy of your book. Partner with other authors or influencers in your genre.
Oh, cool.
Offer experiences that tie into your book's themes. Create eye-catching visuals that'll grab people's attention.
Like a weekend trip to a location that inspired your book.
Exactly.
Or maybe a private writing workshop with you.
Now you're talking.
The guide also mentions advanced reader copies, or ARCs. Why are those so effective? And how do you choose who gets them?
ARCs create anticipation and a feeling of exclusivity. Those early readers become your biggest fans.
Right.
They generate buzz and those all-important first reviews.
Okay.
You want to choose readers who are engaged, influential within their circles, and truly passionate about your genre.
So you're finding those readers who are most likely to become your champions and spread the word organically.
Exactly.
Have you ever won a book giveaway or received an ARC? Share your stories in the comments.
Okay.
I remember once I won a signed copy of my favorite author's book through a Twitter contest.
Oh,
I
nice.
was so excited. It felt so special. And that's the power of a well-run giveaway.
Absolutely.
It creates this memorable experience, this real connection between the author and the reader.
For sure.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, exploring why building a fan base before launch is so crucial, and diving into a ton of strategies for engaging those potential readers. But does it all end once the book is out? Is there more to this fan-building journey?
Well, it doesn't stop there. It actually just begins. Building a fan base is an ongoing thing, especially after the book is launched.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, you've put in all this effort to build these relationships. It'd be a shame to just, like, let them fade away once the book's out there. So what does the guide recommend for, keeping that momentum going?
It really stresses the importance of staying engaged after the launch, nurturing those relationships you've built, and showing your readers you appreciate them. It suggests all sorts of things, like responding to reviews, staying active on social media, even hosting events, virtual or in person.
Wow, that's a lot to juggle. Let's break that down a bit. Why is responding to reviews so important? I can imagine it might be tempting to just ignore the negative ones, especially when you've poured so much of yourself into the book.
Oh, absolutely. It's natural to feel sensitive about criticism, but every review, even the negative ones, they're an opportunity to engage.
Oh,
When you respond thoughtfully, even to a critical review, it shows your readers you care about what they think,
right.
that you're open to feedback. It shows professionalism, and it can even win over readers who might have been on the
It's
fence.
like turning a negative into a positive,
Yeah.
potentially. And of course, for those glowing reviews, it's a chance to just say thank you and really reinforce those fan connections.
Exactly.
What about social media? How do we keep things interesting after the initial launch buzz has died down?
That's where creativity really comes into play. You got to go beyond just announcing book signings or sharing sales numbers. Think about hosting Q&A sessions. Maybe share behind-the-scenes glimpses of your writing process for your next book, or create content that connects with your book's themes.
I've seen some authors create playlists inspired by their characters or even recipes based on food that's mentioned in the book,
Oh, that's cool.
even like travel guides to places that are featured in the story.
Yeah.
It's a great way to extend the world of the book beyond the pages.
That's fantastic.
And what about events? Are we talking strictly in-person events or can we do things virtually too?
Oh, in today's world, virtual events are a fantastic way to connect with readers all over the place. You can host online book clubs, Q&A sessions, even writing workshops.
That was awesome.
And don't underestimate the power of in-person events either. Those face-to-face connections are really special.
Okay, so this brings up an interesting question, and we'd love to hear from you. What are some cool and creative ways you've seen authors engage with readers even after their book's been released? Share your thoughts and ideas down in the comments.
I love that question. I've seen authors create online communities where their readers can discuss the books,
Yeah.
share fan art, even write their own fan fiction.
That's so cool. It's like the book becomes this springboard for an entire community of creativity and connection.
Exactly.
It's clear that staying active after the launch is crucial for building a lasting fan base.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating something that goes beyond just buying a book.
Absolutely.
So let's take a step back and think about some of the key takeaways from this amazing guide. It's been really insightful.
Totally.
Building a fan base, it's not just about, marketing or selling books.
No?
It's about creating genuine connections with people who connect with your work, what you stand for, and your unique voice.
Right.
And this goes way beyond just authors. These principles can be applied to anyone who's passionate about something, an idea, a cause, a project. Musicians, entrepreneurs, chefs, teachers, you name it.
Absolutely. It applies to anyone.
The basic principles are the same. Know your audience, create stuff that's interesting and engaging. Build those relationships, offer something truly valuable.
And don't wait. Start early while you're still working on whatever it is you're passionate about.
Yeah, that early engagement makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
What stood out to you most from our deep dive today?
I think the focus on being real, being authentic, and making genuine connections.
Yeah.
It's not about tricking people into buying your book.
Right.
It's about sharing your passion, your story, what makes you unique, and building a community around that shared connection.
I love that. It's about creating a space where people feel seen, heard, and valued.
Exactly.
And those connections, they can be so powerful. They can lead to lifelong friendships, creative collaborations, even movements that change the world.
Absolutely. It all starts with that first step.
Exactly.
That first connection, that first act of kindness.
So, dear listener, what are you waiting for? Take that first step today. Reach out to someone you admire, offer a word of encouragement to a fellow creator, or just share your passion with the world. You never know what amazing things might happen.
And remember, we're all in this together.
Yes. Let's support each other, lift each other up, and create a world filled with creativity, connection, and joy.
Beautiful.
What a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building those meaningful connections.
And keep diving deep.
Yeah, it's like when one person succeeds, it creates opportunities for others to succeed too.
Yeah.
This whole conversation has been so inspiring.
I know, right?
I'm like ready to put all these ideas into action.
Me too.
What about you? Feeling inspired?
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, building a community, it's not like you reach the finish line and you're done.
Right, it's a journey.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
an ongoing process. There's always more to learn, new people to connect with, new ways to grow together.
So true. And who knows, maybe some of the connections you make today will turn into, like, amazing collaborations, lifelong friendships, or even movements that change the world.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
It all starts with taking that first step,
Mm-hmm.
making that initial connection, that first act of kindness. So to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to take action today. Reach out to someone you admire, offer a word of encouragement to a fellow creator, or just share your passion with the world. You never know what amazing things might happen.
That's so true. And remember, we're all in this together. Let's support each other, encourage each other, and create a world that's filled with creativity, connection, and just like pure joy.
What a beautiful way to wrap things up.
Right.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another exciting exploration. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building those connections that matter.
And keep diving deep.